Hello everyone, and welcome back to DMG. Look, it's a pretty normal hard drive, right? I mean, it should work fine. Oh, okay, no, I guess it won't work fine. Yep, I broke the SATA connector clean off. Yeah, so that happened. I was going to buy a replacement controller board for this drive, but they were about $20, and honestly, I could buy a brand new drive that's more than 80 gigabytes that doesn't have like half bad sectors for about $20. So I'm not going to try and fix this drive because it's honestly not worth it. Before I take it apart, I do want to mention quickly, in my white label video, I had a block of text on screen that said, a lot of OEM drives, like that are sold to Dell, HP, Lenovo, are technically white label, but that wasn't what I was talking about in that video. So this is technically a white label Seagate drive, but not in the sense I was talking about them in this video. Right here you can see it says, this drive is manufactured by Seagate for OEM distribution. For product information or technical support, please contact your system OEM. So this is just a regular Barracuda 7200.9, but it's technically white label because you didn't buy it from Seagate, you bought it inside of a system made by, I think specifically Dell in this case. And it says under jumper block, factory use only, but on a non-OEM drive that'll have like labels of what you can configure it as. Let me go find one. Yeah, here we go. Here's a non-OEM Barracuda 7200.10. You can see by the jumper block, it tells you how to configure it yourself instead of just your OEM already did this for you, so don't worry about it. Here is another Barracuda ES. I don't know if they still are branded as Barracuda ES. I think that's what's now their like Iron Wolf series. But if you see a Dell Constellation, this is basically the same drive. Some of them are branded as Dell Constellation ES, and some of them are branded as Barracuda ES, but this is another OEM drive. Again, manufactured by Seagate for OEM distribution. Came out of a Dell server. Oh wait, that's the drive I need. But yeah, since there's really no point to keeping this drive around, might as well pop it open. I've never specifically disassembled a Barracuda 7200.9. Also, I have other Barracuda 7200.9s, but they are of a slightly different design. One of them is 500 gigabytes, and the only other one is that Barracuda ES, which uses a very similar controller board design, but because 750 and 80 are not the same number, the controller boards won't be compatible with the same drive. It'll think it's a 750 gig drive if I put that on, and but it's actually only 80 gigs, so it won't work. Should probably use a slightly smaller one, since it's jumping a bit. That was a completely unintentional pun. Now, it's interesting, this drive is probably one platter from its weight, and also because it doesn't make a lot of sense to be putting a, a 2-platter drive just for 80 gigs, because from about the same time, I've got a 4-platter drive that's 750, and a 2-platter that's 500 gigabytes. So 2 platters just for 80 gigabytes is really just a waste of money, because each of those platters is pretty damn expensive. Like, they're not super expensive, but that would add a good, probably like many cents to the manufacturing cost, which means a lot to Seagate. Okay, there's probably another screw here. Yes, there is. I always forget about that one. So it looks like our heads are on this side of the drive. Pretty typical that those are aligned with the SATA port. Sorry if it seems like I'm just completely speed running this, but I do need to get to class rather soon. Where is it? It feels like it's right there. The label is so thick that it's like sunk into the screw. There we go. So it looks like it's the same size as those. Yep, here we go. I have so many of these weird head size screws from taking apart hard drives. Okay, so that's what I was thinking. It has space for another platter, so this was probably used, this chassis was probably used for many models of drive, but it only actually has one installed. And this is a very, very thick spindle clamp. It's a pretty well built drive. It uses landing zones instead of parking the head off the drive, which, if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you know I absolutely abhor landing zones. It's a good vocabulary word. Sorry, I have so many dead drives. Okay, here's a... Actually, yeah, this is a very similar design. I don't have the top magnet on it anymore, but this was probably a 750 gig drive in a former life. You can see... Okay, so the controller boards are different. I could not have just done a clean swap of them. This uses an LSI controller. This uses a smooth controller. That power delivery is different, but the overall design of the drive is pretty much identical. And this, just superficially, that looks like the same spindle clamp, but this one just has 3 platters on it instead of 1. This was one of the first ones I took apart. It was the 500 gig, now I know it's a Barracuda 7200.9, that made that horrendous sound. And actually it's got this on the jumper block there, when in that position, if I recall correctly, means it's limited to 1.5 gigabyte per second operation, which I honestly don't know why that exists. Probably a compatibility thing, but that just bothers me that that is often installed on the drive. Not like you're going to be getting anywhere near 1.5 gigabytes per second out of one of these, but it's still kind of a strange decision. Now, the head design is slightly different, but here, wait a second. Let me get the back of the top of the magnet off of this drive, because this middle part looks, god damn it, this middle part of this drive looks really similar. So I think they literally just stack more heads on top of it when they need to, because the coil is at the same level on both of these drives. So yeah, I do think I found a very similar one here. Whenever I pack up my room to, you know, move back home for the summer, how am I going to explain to my parents this massive drawer of dead hard drives I have? Oh. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. So the design of the coil is a bit different. The head is lighter, so they don't need as much coil to move it. So that's why there's not as much stuff on the coil. You've got a tiny little chippity chip here on the head. So I gotta refocus. And then, yeah, so these are different head assemblies. But actually, if you look at, it has, so this bottom magnet assembly is exactly the same on both drives. It is identical, except for maybe this little screw here, but that was probably something that I took out. Well no, this one has this plastic part here, and you can see where it could have screwed in here. It has, like, where it would have gone. So yes, this is the same drive chassis, slightly different head design, and the platter thickness actually looks the same. And can we just talk about the fact that these platters are extremely thick for a second? There are so many screws on this spindle clamp. These platters will be fun to play around with. I'm a literal child. I want all the shiny things. I'm like a crow. I'm just... I have too much fun sometimes. So yeah, I'll get one platter from each drive and just compare them on thickness. Because, of course, the platters themselves would be different, because 80 times 3 is not 500. That's right, I'm in Algebra 2 honors. Bet you couldn't have figured that out. Ha. Oh. So what this is it's, this plastic part, I guess it's between all of the platters to prevent them from hitting each other, I don't know. But this one doesn't have it because it only has one platter. Oh, that is a deep scratch. Look at that. Around... And also the inside of this drive looks like the old Logitech logo. I don't know why I like that so much. But yeah, comparing those, you can see they're pretty much the same. Time to pop this one. I might have to take the head out to get the platter out of this one, actually, because it looks like... It looks like the head is in the way of the platter, so I will probably have to take that out. And again, I'm sorry that you are seeing mostly the back of my hand in all of these hard drive teardown videos. I can't really do anything to solve that. I wish it was smaller so it could, like, actually go on my finger, because that's really drippy. Bro, look at my drip. Ha! Okay, I gotta find somewhere I can wear this, because, like, honestly, it looks sick. Maybe... Oh, okay. I'm legitimately clipping this onto my room keychain, because it looks sick as hell. Oh, that rattles so much now. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But it looks like here we have a smaller ring. Yo, it's the same thing, but just a lot thinner. So yeah, that just spaces out the platters. I'm actually going to have to cut it here and then come back to these later today because I do need to get to class. But it'll only be a couple hours later when I'm finishing the recording, so I won't just completely forget everything. Oh, I just want to mention really quickly, both of these drives, I believe, are landing zone, because I can move the head off of the platter on this one, but it doesn't have a park mechanism over here. I believe it's just because I broke the park mechanism that would have been over here the first time I took it apart. I broke the mechanism that prevented it from going too far off of the platter, like months ago when I took it apart for the first time. But I haven't screwed that up yet on this one, so that's why I cannot move it. Oh, actually, what's doing it is this black lever. So if I just move this black lever over, then yeah, okay. So that's your park mechanism. Does it park it off of the drive? No, that is not secure enough to park off the drive. That's just rattling around. So yeah, I do believe this is in fact a landing zone drive. Alright, I'm back with a slightly soggy sandwich and a drink that I got for lunch. Don't know why it is slightly soggy. But I want to take a look at this really quickly. Also, I've determined that the rings from the drive, oh that's a long screw, the rings from the drive are probably aluminum. Because, well yeah, they don't stick to magnets. And that would make sense because you wouldn't want any magnetic interference in a hard drive because it might pick up, you know, magnetic fields from the head or something, and you of course would not want that because it would then interfere with the platter or perhaps where the head lands. Are these plastic? Yeah, this is a piece of plastic. It's just a piece of plastic. And then the next platter should be able to come out. Oh wow. Oh, and okay. Just the whole drive came apart there. That was funny. Let's see, are these two rings the same size? They look like it. Yeah, they are. So now I got these drippy rings. Hey, is that Gucci you're wearing? No, man, it's Seagate. And a lot of platters. And these are a pretty common platter thickness. Let's see. Oh, crap. So these are aluminum platters. Like the base of the platter is aluminum, unlike the glass platters. So if I drop them, it doesn't really matter. But let's see. Here's, like, they won't shatter. I can focus that a bit better. Yeah, so it's not the same thickness as all platters. Like this Toshiba one is a bit thinner, but all three platters are the same thickness from this drive, which makes sense. They make nice coasters. And then this one, can I just like, yeah, there we go, I can just pour it out. Oh, so it doesn't have anything else holding it in the bottom. And the drives look the same in the base. So yeah, that's the exact same chassis design, they just have different things screwed into them. And yeah, all four of these platters are the same thickness. Although the metal looks a bit different on the first one, this one. There we go. This is the one that's not from a Seagate drive. I'll take it out of the stack for a second. But the metal looks like it's slightly different on this first platter. I don't know how well that comes across, but it's a very slightly different color. So the coil is not only thicker on the sides, but also on the back. And it's deeper as well on this one. So it's like that and that. Then this, is that just like the filter? Or, no, what is that? Because the filter would go there before I broke it off. I could take the controller boards off, but I've already taken the boards off so many other Barracudas that, I mean, it's just a controller board. It's nothing super special. Yeah, I'm saving the platters from these because I like to save the platters for some reason. And I'm just going to take the drive chassis back to the... Well, the motor is a bit different, actually. This one spins a lot more freely. It could just be newer bearings, or it could be by design. But anyway, that's enough for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. and see you next time.